Yo, what is up guys, Fer here, and it has been a while, mostly because of school stuff, exams, tests, and all of those things, but I am back at it again. Expect more videos coming your way, but we are here to talk about Blackbeard. Well, specifically his powers and what Luffy will need to match this man at the end of the series, because we all think Blackbeard, end of game, will be at least top 3 in the verse, for sure, given that he has 2 of the best powers in the series right now, the strongest defense and offense respectively, the Gurgur no Mi and the Yami Yami no Mi. It's only a matter of time before he gets a 3rd fruit that would complete the ultimate Devil Fruit trifecta. The strongest of each class of Devil Fruit powers all in one body. Yes, Blackbeard at the end of the series is to be feared. At least that's how Oda is making it seem to be. And just based on the Devil Fruit he has at a base level, we saw how devastating Whitebeard was with that ability, and he was sick at that. Now, I'm not sure if the condition of your health affects the power of the Gurgur no Mi, but given that Blackbeard was able to do something way more destructive than Whitebeard's Heaven and Earth right after getting the fruit, I think there's some correlations to health and how much you can use your Devil Fruit powers. Now, in regards to what Sengoku said about the fruit having the power to destroy the world, now I feel like that was an exaggeration on Sengoku's part. I think that was just used to hype up how much of a monster Whitebeard is. However, in terms of destructive capability, this fruit is clearly number 1. Not a lot of people can tank a Quake attack without seriously getting hurt. So what Blackbeard has in his repertoire more than likely surpasses the other Yonkos, because not only does he have these crazy powers, these crazy Devil Fruits, but he also has Haki as well, which is something everyone has. And he more than likely has King Conqueror's Haki, given the relationship he has with his crew and how loyal they are to him, as we saw that he was able to make random pirates from Impel Down become a part of his crew. Now, all these people like Avolo Pizarro and Katarina Devon, they have other motives. I think Blackbeard being in a position of power made them realize something, and the fact that he was able to take over pretty much the entirety of Whitebeard's territories, that takes a good amount of leadership, because Blackbeard was essentially a no-name 2 years ago until the events of Marineford, but now he currently has a force that rivals the other Yonkos. But going back to Blackbeard and Haki, now while he may have all 3 forms of Haki, I don't think he's going to be as skilled as Luffy in all types. Haki is something that Luffy will definitely have a 1-up against Blackbeard, given that Blackbeard has all these fruits to focus on, and he seems majorly relying on Devil Fruit powers, so that would limit his training when it comes down to Haki. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be like trash level, buggy level Haki. It's going to be top tier level Haki, but I doubt he's going to have the advanced stuff that Luffy will get in future, like Future Sight or, the advanced version of Armament Haki, because more than likely he allocated all of his time to work on his fruit powers more so than Haki. So when it comes down to his Devil Fruit, he needs to work on Control, Awakening, all that stuff. There's a lot of things you can do your Devil Fruit, so I don't think he's going to have that much time to work on Haki, especially on the advanced level of Haki, because that stuff is just crazy. What's the point of having observation Haki to dodge attacks when you literally have the power that can destroy every single thing that comes your way? So having these fruits would put a limit on how much stronger or better Blackbeard's Haki will grow, because more than likely he's not going to rely on it. But if that is the case, that he does master all fruits and have advanced level of Haki like Luffy, that would be simply too much for Luffy to handle at this point. There's only so much power you can give to one person, and I think that's a bit too much. But if that time comes and if that happens, Luffy has to take that out, or there has to be some nerf to Blackbeard's fighting capabilities. Hopefully that doesn't happen. The battle between Luffy and Blackbeard should be one of the best in the show, and this time I want Luffy to be shown as an equal to Blackbeard in this fight, something similar to the Rob Lucci fight. But at the same time, Oda should make it in a way that there is a sense of danger. He should make the fans believe that this is Luffy's greatest challenge, and this should be the time we get to see Luffy struggle the most in the entirety of One Piece. And I would rather Oda make this fight in a way that Luffy has the upper hand with Haki, while Blackbeard has the upper hand with Devil Fruits. Kind of like a matchup between Haki and Devil Fruit, which is better, because we all know the Yami Yami no Mi bypasses, it has the ability to nerf other Devil Fruit powers by just touching them. If that happens to Luffy, he's not going to be as useless as we think, because more than likely he would have mastered all 3 forms of Haki to their highest potential. take Shanks right now, but also add in the complete mastery of the Gomu Gomu no Mi. That's how I envision Luffy during his fight with Blackbeard. Top tier, Conqueror's Haki. Top tier, Ornament Haki, Observation, plus the awakening of the Gomu Gomu no Mi. This man is gonna be crazy. Now, as for Blackbeard, right now I currently have him as the weakest Yonko, and when I say quote unquote weakest, the margin of difference is so little. If Big Mom was a 96, Blackbeard would be a 95, Shanks would be a 97, and Kaido would be a 98. These guys should all relatively be on the same level, but if I had to rank them, I would have current Blackbeard as the weakest for now. But my reason for that is that Blackbeard is still growing, even though he's currently in his prime. Being in your prime doesn't necessarily mean you can't grow anymore, at least in terms of overall strength. A few examples would be Capone and Rouge. Now, while these guys may have hit their physical peak, they can still grow, whether it's in the aspects of devil fruit control or even Haki. There's obviously a limit, but we're not exactly sure where these limits are placed. And going back to Blackbeard, while I do have him as the weakest Yonko, I do think he will become the strongest at some point in the story, which would make the battle between him and Luffy all the more better, the battle of the strongest. Now let's backtrack a little to Blackbeard's powers. He currently has the Yami Yami no Mi and the Gurgur no Mi. Now there's theories here and there that he might get a third fruit, which is also something I also believe, but the real question is, what power is he gonna have as his third? More than likely it's gonna be a Zoan fruit, given that he has a Paramecia and a Logia. You know, it makes perfect sense for a Zoan type to be next. Now I used to think he may get Kaido's fruit or something of that sort, but I'm starting to think he might get Marco's Phoenix fruit. I feel like there was a symbolism between Whitebeard and Blackbeard, somewhat polar opposites when you think about it. Blackbeard in a sense was Whitebeard's shadow, but in this case the shadow overcame the light, which robbed the light of everything, just like how Blackbeard did with Whitebeard's position as a Yonko, his territories, and also his devil fruit power. Everything was taken away from Whitebeard, and it's only a matter of time before he delivers the final blow to his crew, which I think will happen later on in the story, where Blackbeard kills Marco and takes his fruit. Everything Whitebeard had or owned now belongs to Blackbeard. I feel like that was a contrast between Blackbeard and Whitebeard, and eventually Blackbeard will take on the title as the world's strongest man. You know, the strongest offense, the strongest defense, the strongest durability. You know, this man has it all, and it doesn't get any more hacks than that. Now obviously there's going to be a ton of emotional value in this fight, as well as major foreshadowing that we can gather from earlier parts in the series, all the way back from the events of Jaya, when they met him in the bar and Luffy got his ass beat by Bellamy. At that point in the story, us as readers sort of viewed that Blackbeard wasn't your typical regular villain. You know, there was something off about him. Now we also know that Blackbeard has bad blood with not only Luffy but with Shanks as well, given the fact that he was the individual to give Shanks the scar over his eyes in the first place. So I think we all have this idea before the lead up to the battle between Luffy and Blackbeard, we're going to get Shanks versus Blackbeard more than likely, as those two need to settle their score ever since it was teased during the climax of Marineford. Now obviously we don't exactly know how things are going to play out, but if Oda does go with the cliche route of doing things, Shanks more than likely gets killed by Blackbeard in some type of, you know, sly or devious way, essentially doing the same thing he did with Whitebeard, where he, you know, made his whole crew jump Whitebeard, and we all know how Luffy is going to react to that. That would essentially be the catalyst that would spark an all-out war between the Straw Hat Pirates and the Blackbeard Pirates. Not only would Blackbeard be someone that Luffy would hate for killing Shanks, but he would be someone that Luffy would have to surpass, as they are both aiming for that Pirate King title. So there's two reasons for Luffy to go after Blackbeard. It was bad enough that Blackbeard was the person that pretty much triggered the chain of events that led to Ace dying, but this would just be the tipping point for Luffy. So yeah, in terms of what this fight is going to represent in the story, it's going to be pretty huge. But this is all with the assumption that Oda does write it this way. You know, I've seen theories here and there that Shanks could be evil, you know, all of that crazy stuff. That would be a crazy plot twist, but I personally don't believe it. And yes, the battle between Luffy and Blackbeard would be one of the most devastating fights in One Piece. But comment down below what you guys think. You think Blackbeard having all forms of advanced Haki on top of all his fruits that it will probably more than likely all be awakened would be too overpowered, or you think Luffy will still be able to handle that if that was the case? You know, like the video if you liked it, subscribe for more content on this channel. It is Pharaoh, and I will see you folks later. Peace.